YouTube, what the crap's going on, and welcome back to Total War Shogun 2. I am in the middle of a naval battle. I figured I'd start things with a battle this time,
Sir, we attack.
and figure you all would enjoy this cinematic footage. There's a small enemy fleet. I've got 2 armored Kasugas and a couple of torpedo boats coming up against some enemy ships here. I don't think there was anything super significant. They have this Conran Maru, their own copper-plated Kasuga, and another copper-plated Kasuga. So a couple of decent corvettes, and then one rather trashy corvette. While this is getting started, I will let you all see the footage, and I'm going to answer a couple of questions, starting on this one with the Cabbage Preacher, or not a question, sorry, respond to comments, who says, those Gatling towers are indeed pretty underwhelming. I was disappointed when I got to use them myself in Shogun 2. Yeah, they were really crappy. May look for a mod that improves them. I used my torpedo boats, by the way, to open the battle by slinging some torpedoes down the center of the map, and the idea of this is to gum up any maneuvering for the enemy, plus when they see my torpedo boats coming forward, they tend to move forward, and then I can bring them into the loving salvos of my cannons, and so that is indeed my objective. However, I'm doing a little bit of sailing around in front of my own ships here, and kind of used to Warhammer where your troops won't fire when they're going to hurt each other, but that is not the case in Shogun 2, and I took some brutal shots here on my torpedo boats, which was a mistake, but I was desperate to get more torpedoes in the water, and again, I'm seeing how this hurts the enemy's ability to maneuver. So the idea here is I put torpedoes out everywhere, and the enemy gets denied certain areas of maneuverability. Now, this boat has taken some pretty severe damage, and I'm going to fall back with my torpedo boats, and back here, look at this. This ship is at some pretty big risk at the moment of being torpedoed. It's steaming away. It might take a hit on... Oh my gosh, it's going to take all 4 torpedoes to the stern. Holy cow. Oh, yeah, that is an impressive showing that ship didn't explode, but look how quickly it took on water and sank. That was an insane torpedoing. I love torpedo boats. My torpedo boats, unfortunately, though, are damaged now, and I'm not able to launch torpedoes. It seems like no matter what happens, the torpedo tubes are the very first thing, or the launchers are the very first thing to get damaged. Doesn't matter where you take hits. Like, I think I took hits from the stern, and it still managed to damage my torpedo launchers, which were on the front of the boat, but whatever. Big victory for us, and I'll see you out on the campaign map. Folks, there's a mess. There's a mess on the map. Well, that was a good victory for us, and I'm going to get back to the campaign map here and show you all just what a mess I sit in at the moment. Is a significant mess, in fact. Why'd they have to damage my castle? It's such an annoying thing to damage, and this starts costing you a lot of money over time. Castle helps with repression, so of course they've damaged that. We've got a lot of repairs that have to be made. Hopefully I can force the Tosa off my trade point. I'm trying to operate in the positive, but it's going to cost me additional rebellions. We are in an absolute crapshoot right now, folks. Like, an absolute crapshoot. It is not good. We're going to be facing a lot of rebellions, a lot of large battles, and that probably won't be the first or last time that we end up with negative income before all is said and done. And the only way that we're going to dig out of this hole is to actually get aggressive and take territory and start to make some more money as we go. And eventually, our own provinces will switch over to pro-independent, which will give us some capability to be able to not have as many rebellions, to actually have some income and to fight. We're going to lose more before it's said and done. So like right here, we're going to lose Awa. That might, in and of itself, put us into the negative right there, because that was a settlement being taxed. No, not quite. We fortunately weren't making much there. We got an assassination attempt here that succeeded, so that's fantastic. Sarcastically speaking, of course. Let's see, Shogunate Vanguard. Yeah, I definitely prepared wrong coming into these. Like, it's tempting to go back and reload one of my old saves and do this right, so you all can see how to do it right. But, you know what? Let's work through the struggle for the time being. And if it comes to that, it comes to that. But let's see if we can work through the struggle and make it happen. Look at these jerks. Rather than just attack me, they're going to run around, like, trying to disrupt absolutely everything. Bunch of turds. The AI knows how to bleed you, and that's all they do is bleed you. They don't even attempt. They don't even attempt to do things the right way. They just try and bleed you from 1,000 cuts. So, like, for instance, if they just come and defeat me in a decisive battle right now, campaign over. I won't be able to rebuild an army. All they have to do is come and defeat me, but the AI instead goes and raids my farm on meager soil. What? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense the way that the AI operates in this game. I would love to face their armies. Hopefully I'll get the opportunity to do so. At this point, I don't really have a choice but to risk the rebellions, and I'm gonna have to operate taxes on all these people. I can't dig myself further into the negative at the moment. Did we lose our general here? Let's say their army harassed. Okay, so we were successfully harassed by the enemy agent. Fortunately, I did not lose my commander.
Without delay.
Move up further.
Waiting for more orders.
And I want to go attack the enemy castle. All of our ports back here absolutely thrashed and bombarded, but having them operational again is going to be difficult to pull off. They got a wooden frigate here. I'm gonna have to use my torpedo boats to get effect. So I'm gonna manually fight this one, though I probably won't show the battle. Alright, unfortunately I lost a torpedo boat in that battle. That's a bit of a downer, but at least we cleared the port for now. I say for now because almost certainly there'll be an AI stack right on top of us here soon. Money. Oh my gosh, the repair cost. I can't afford to repair these, and I can't repair my ships at the moment either. So yeah, the repair costs are out of reach. Of course, I lost another torpedo boat, and they didn't lose their ship. That was extremely convenient for them. Really nice when it works out that way for the AI. We have a small port here where I could probably make repairs. It's currently undamaged. I say currently because, again, that's probably going to change here shortly. Let's go ahead and repair those vessels. I'll see whether I can retrain anything there. I really can't afford much else.
Your orders, my lord.
Whew, man, things are rough right now, folks. Things are rough. Fortunately, in some of these places, I did put up defenses. Unfortunately, this is not one of those places, so I do not have even the somewhat mediocre Gatling towers. Let's go ahead and end our turn and just, like I said, we're going to take this one turn at a time, see what we can do. It's bad right now. Isaac Crabtree says, thanks for going back to Rome 2 and Shogun. I remember being in middle school, acting like I was asleep, and my parents came in so I could stay up and watch you. Unable to afford a PC, waiting to play the games 8 years later. I have a PC in the Marines and still up late watching. Glad I rediscovered you. Well, thank you, Isaac. Appreciate your service. And thank you for all the years of viewership. It's fantastic to have you and appreciate the kind words. So it makes me happy to hear that people are enjoying it. Oh boy, let's see what we're up against on the next one. Sunpu, of course, even though they have a huge army, don't want to engage me. They're just going to keep running around, damaging my facilities. This looks like a winnable scenario here. In fact, we can auto-resolve this, probably. I am going to quick save here, just in case the auto-resolve screws me over. But to me, it looks very winnable. Yeah, with no unit losses. So that's good. We got a victory there that we badly needed. Yeah, keep damaging all my stuff, please. Like that. Just, yeah, don't fight me. Whatever you do, don't take my settlements and actually win. Just keep damaging all my buildings. That's the way to win. Okay? That's the way to win, AI. No.
As you wish, my
No, 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 no. Crap. I'm gonna have to load my... Dadgummit. I'll load my quick save because I accidentally moved that force. I needed to go forward into enemy territory and I accidentally had them selected and didn't realize it and moved them in the wrong direction. And I want to have their move I really got to get the fight into enemy territory. It's going to be ugly, but the more pain we can cause to our enemies, the better. Like, that's just the only way out of this, is we're going to have to take the fight to enemy turf once we've cleared some of the rebellions, and then just hope for the best. Yeah. We get to see it again. Nice strategy. Well done. CA, please. Another samurai revolt, because that's what we need, you know? I really need more samurai revolts. Be very helpful to have some more samurai revolts. Alright, our fleet is now repaired. What are we up against in the Choshu Imperial Vanguard? A copper-plated Kasuga. No doubt the auto-resolve will screw me over, and it did. Look at that, their ship survives. Of course. I'm just going to go ahead and repair these ships. That single, I mean, we already got a damaged fort up there. It's really not going to make much of a difference. Okay. What can we do? Here, I saw an enemy army here. Are they having... No, it's just the Imperial Vanguard there. I'm going to go ahead and take their settlement. Like I said, anything we do to their territory is going to be helpful for us. Ooh. It hurts our daimyo's honor, but we could loot their settlement. I mean, does my honor matter at this point? No one's... I mean, it could have an impact on our public order. I'm gonna quick save here again if I can. No, I can't. Crap. Let's just occupy for now. Let's not get too greedy. Maybe I should have. Maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. I'm not gonna need this though. Let's start building an inn. So that'll give me a little bit of build the castle. Let's see if that'll get the attention of that Shoshu army there. Speaking of getting attention, we can either attack the Sunpu or the Okayama rebels, and I'm gonna go ahead and attack the Sunpu here. They have a wooden cannon, so our Armstrong guns better be careful. Anyway, we'll fight this one, and hopefully you'll have fun with it. Anda Shigayori was a believer of the old ways. He did not like the new technology or the westernization of Japan, and he kept his armies mostly sticking to the old ways, bringing a large army of mostly samurai ready to do battle with my forces. However, there were a few modern troops. I guess he figured that he could bring along some peasants with guns in order to bolster the ranks of his army. But he's coming up against the legendary Saigo Takamori and his Armstrong guns, which rain death as if the fingers of God themselves, coming down from heaven, smushing out enemy troops like the insignificant ants that they look like. So, in any case, the Armstrong guns have opened up for Takamori's army and are already causing massive damage. There are several Yariki. Again, this army very much a themed samurai army for the most part, other than, I guess, these new version of Matchlock Ashigaru that are coming to the battlefield. The armies of Saigo Takamori are much more modernized. You can see the line infantry, their modern regalia. There is also Black Bear infantry. I now have suppressive fire as well as kneel fire, so there will be some extreme damage, and suppression, I believe, hurts leadership as well. You see the Armstrong guns already very busy. They will be causing some pretty extreme damage. Some of my main targets are going to be Shogatai, because at this point it's almost certain I'm going to end up in some melee against Shogatai. They do have a bow key as well. Yeah, this old school cavalry is going to be coming in for charges, and it won't succeed. On the other side, some of my own more traditional units are cutting down their brothers in an old school combat. No doubt both units enjoy this, as people get to die the way that they lived, which was as a warrior. But yeah, you can see the Shogatai line already taking a bit of a savaging from the Armstrong guns, and that is not going to stop anytime soon. Bombardment is continuing, and hundreds of troops are dying And that's the way I like it, honestly. Hundreds of their troops dead before we ever even entered gun range. The way I prefer to do business. This bow key was being incredibly annoying. It's actually gotten a fair few kills, and so I've turned a gun line to face it. Again, to pick it apart. It won't be able to stand up to the continued fire of a modern rifle unit. Or would I expect it to? Some of my troops have had to reposition a bit because there is some odd terrain right up here, a bit of a bowl shape here. I'm trying to minimize the ability for the AI to move forward without being shot in the face, because I really want them to be shot in the face. See the brutal artillery bombardment continuing, and the enemy Shogutai mostly taking the brunt of it, though there are other units that are being hit as well. Yeah, the Armstrong guns are just absolutely brutal. My sharpshooters are now in range of the Shogutai. So we're going to see whether or not they approve of their decision to continue to come to the battlefield in their old school layout versus having modernized. I really should have taken these guys out of loose formation since there weren't really many line infantry troops in the vicinity, because I would have gotten more firepower. But regardless, that is what they are doing. And they've already whittled down one of the enemy melee units. I've also got cannon fire going. See over here, my line troops are a kneel and suppressive fire, and they are causing massive damage. I believe that's actually a matchlock Kachi. Then a Shogutai following up behind it. But with the suppression, there's going to be some pretty brutal impacts to leadership. However, some of these Shogutai units will make it through into combat. Now, my line infantry have leveled up quite a bit, are also pretty capable in a melee. They're not amazing, but they're capable in a pinch. See here that the enemy Shogutai just charging madly forward. They want to get into combat as quickly as they can, and I don't really blame them. A few of their troops are going to remain and fire from range, and I'm going to continue to bombard those relentlessly with my Armstrong guns. It was a bloody fight, but my line infantry draw their sabers and are able to beat back these katana-wielding Shogutai, spear levy, Generals Hatamoto, other troops. Really just overwhelming firepower wins the day here once again, as the enemy, even despite their superior numbers, won't be able to stand up to the vicious bombardment and ranged assault that my army can dish out. It is just too much for them to handle. And at this point, the enemy begins to flee. One last charge, though, from the enemy general as he tries to prove he is a warrior, but indeed he is not, and he has been defeated, and no doubt seppuku awaits him. So my forces will be victorious in driving back the Sunpu. That was a lot of Shogutai, and my positioning was not great, and so I paid some price for that, as my line infantry ended up in melee with those elite samurai units. So that could have been a better situation for us, but we'll take what we can get there. So we did push back the Sunpu. Our cannons remained in excellent condition, and we did not lose any units. So at least there's that. So a bit of a small victory, I guess, in a way. So we shall see. Not much else I can do for this turn other than end our turn and watch the carnage continue to unfold. Carnage there will be. Carnage there will be. We've got to take out the Saga and the Choshu Imperial Vanguard. We've got to start putting hits on them, like I said, in their territory, keep them on the run, keep them facing the problems, and then eventually, if we can get past this, kind of uprising that we're fighting at the moment, then we'll be able to deal with fixing buildings slowly and getting our income put back together. But for now, it's just going to have to be a mess. They're going to damage everything they can damage. Yeah, you can see that's exactly what they're doing. They're just going to continue to go for max nuisance. The auto-resolve is going to treat us good here, so I'm going to take that too. Some of these rebellions are going to fail. Blockaded enemy raid. You know what the good thing is here? I haven't seen another samurai rebellion. I guess it's probably because everywhere is already covered in a samurai rebellion, but there was not yet another samurai rebellion, so it's a small piece of good news amidst all of the bad. Let's see. I badly need money. Cottage industry, though, is going to make things worse here, though it does give me some much-needed cash. And we're building an inn here, which will help as well. I'll go ahead and try and go for repression. I really can't spend money on buildings for the most part here. I have to watch it. All right, here is a Choshu Imperial Vanguard Navy. We need to assault. They've got a wooden frigate with... Yeah, it's all wooden, so everything here is wooden hull. They got a Kasuga, a frigate, a Conran Maru, and a Chiton. Should be able to easily make short work of them, but you can see the auto-resolve's trying to cheat us, so I'll have to play this one as well. As we attacked the Choshu Imperial Vanguard, the AI always thinks that when attacked, I can just sit here in a defense mode. They've got their frigate. All their boats, notice, are only wooden hulled. They are going to be some pretty big trouble here as they come up against my armored fleet. It is a very powerful fleet of ships that I have over here indeed. I've got 3 torpedo boats, 3 armored Kasuga corvettes, and a Kotetsu ironclad, as well as an armored frigate. So we're going to be more than a match for the enemy. And I also have a ranged and kind of maneuverability advantage here. I'm going to use my torpedo boats similar as in the past. I'm going to use them to kind of gum up the maneuvering. So torpedoes are going to start to go. And this will force the enemy to begin moving, or else they'll be hit. And then it also, like I said, restricts where they can maneuver, as the torpedoes will be moving through the area, and they can either dodge or be destroyed and take their pick. So my Kotetsu moved forward to open fire, and I'm now going to put it in reverse and draw the enemy back in. You can see it's steaming backwards, pulling the enemy back, like I said, into the loving broadsides of my fleet, who eagerly await the opportunity to continue to hone in their gun skills and sink enemies of the Republic. And there's going to be some very, very fun torpedo shots here. Look at these. This one's closing in. You can see these 2 ships are forced to maneuver into a very tight spot here because they're trying to stay away from the torpedoes. This one's getting forced out by the other ship, and just by a matter... I mean, that was like, what, 1, maybe 2 meters? We missed the bow of that ship with the torpedo, so the AI, very fortunate, have not been torpedoed. And that was their frigate, but their frigate is now under fire from 2 Kasugas, make that 3, as well as my own frigate. And it's also being hit by my Kotetsu, sniped from range. So the enemy ship is already on fire and taking heavy damage. At this point, I'm going to redirect a couple of my Kasugas to face the oncoming enemy Kasuga corvettes here, and I'm going to switch over to explosive shot as the distance closes a little. Remember that explosive shot. Ooh, there goes the enemy frigate to a shower of fireworks, and the other enemy Chiton corvette here is now on fire and will surrender. And then I opened up over here with the explosive shells, so this enemy Kasuga took some heavy crew damage as a result. And they were chasing my torpedo boats back, which worked out really well in my favor. And I've taken very little damage in this engagement. It's been a very, very clean engagement so far. See, another of their corvettes goes up in flames, and a third one about to do the same, and the crew is going to be forced to abandon ship and surrender. So, decisive naval victory for us. All right. Well, our fleet held very strong there. We took very little damage in return and caused massive damage, decisively destroying the enemy fleet. So that'll be at least another loss for the Choshu Imperial Vanguard there. Let's push forward a little. Let's see, we've got their military port here, and I think I'm going to return the favor on these losers and start bombarding their provinces. So we destroyed their field artillery school and damaged their large town. Their gun emplacements are firing back on us, unfortunately. I had looked for that and didn't see it when I moved over here, and then that line popped up there, but whatever, we'll be alright. So we caused some major damage there. This army is busy recovering. I don't know what happened to the rebels that were in the province. I no longer see them nearby.
Yes, my lord. As you wish,
If they,
my
like,
lord.
laid an ambush or gave up for the winter or what. But I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for them. Let's go into this situation here. Okay. I don't really want to exempt them from taxes yet because I just can't risk another rebellion behind the lines, especially back here where I'm already suffering a lot of problems. This tiny Sun-Fu fleet keeps blockading and damaging this port. Gonna get rid of it. There will continue to be issues back here at these ports. For the time being, those will start to kind of slow repair since I'm not going to pay for their repair. And the the Sato have an army here. I'm gonna drive them back. If I can reach them on this turn, I think we can. Okay. We'll get back into our garrison here. Well, folks, it's going. It's not going good, but it's going, and we're going to attempt to make it through this transition to independence. It is not going to be pretty. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to power our way through it as best we can. Some of these provinces are actually about to flip to pro-independent, which means that we should start to see some of these things calm down and at least take that piece of it off our plate. It's not going to put us on easy street. We're going to have a lot of work to do in order to be successful, but I think we can do it. If we can start to chip away at the Choshu, we can certainly start to make our way back into this fight. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. Heir of Carthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon with some more action in Total War Shogun 2.